Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the T-Cube Gate classes. My name is Kuldeep Kumar Dwivedi. I am assistant professor in Nalanda College of Engineering. In this video lecture, I will discuss controller and compensator parts of the control system. So let us start with the controller. Okay. Controller. Okay, controllers. So first I will take a feedback control system here. Okay, so in a feedback control system we have input, we have output, controller and a plant and a feedback system. So let us take, we have input. Okay, this is called reference input. Okay, then we have a controller here. Okay, so controller, then we have a plant. Okay, plant, then we have a feedback element. Okay, so we have a feedback element. This is a feedback element. Okay, and output of this feedback is applied to this error detector. Okay, this is called error detector. Okay, error detector. Okay, and this is called output. Okay, so you can see in control system some portion of your output is applied through feedback to the error detector. Okay, so this is actually the input is called the desired input. Okay, this is desired input. Okay, and this is called the controlled input. Okay, so the signal that we get after the error detector, that is called the error signal. Okay, it is error signal. Okay, and the output of the controller is called actuating signal. Okay, it is called actuating signal. Okay, so what does the controller do? Okay, so if suppose we have a plant. Okay, so plant may be a collection of element. Okay, plants having the collection of elements which is used to perform a task. Okay, which is used to perform a task. Okay, so this is plant. Okay, suppose plant may be anything. It may have a motor or anything which has to be, which parameters has to be controlled. Okay, so we have a plant. Okay, the output of this controller is applied to the plant to get the desired output. Okay, now what is the purpose of this controller here? Okay, so you can see, so basically controllers are connected in the forward path of the control system to control the time domain parameters of the plant. Okay, to control the time domain parameters of the plant. Okay, what are the time domain parameters? Like rise time, okay, settling time, okay, peak time, and um, maximum overshoot, okay, maximum overshoot, okay. These parameters can be controlled by use of controllers, okay. So control the time domain parameters of the plant, okay. So controller is basically is what? Controller is used to deviate this error so that we get the desired output. So controller is basically used to minimize the deviation, okay, from the desired output. So what we do, what we can say, that controller is the function, okay, controller is the function of error signal, okay, controller is the function of error signal, and function may be anything, okay. If this function is analog, okay, if we use the analog function, then we can say analog controller, okay, analog controller, okay. If we use the discrete function here, then we have a discrete controller, or we can say the digital controller, okay. Now see, here we only study the analog controller, okay. So analog controller, we basically discuss here proportional controller, integral controller, and the derivative controller, okay. And we also discuss the combination of these, okay. So PI controller, PD controller, and PID controller, okay. So these 6 types of controller we will study here. Now if we talk about the use of the controller, okay, how do we use the controllers? What is the purpose of controller? So use of controllers, okay. So first use is controllers, okay, controllers improves steady state accuracy, okay, steady state accuracy by reducing the steady state error, okay, by reducing the steady state error, okay. So if your steady state accuracy is improves, this means it also improves the stability, okay. If your steady state error is improved, your steady state accuracy is improved, so it will also improve the stability. So you can write steady state accuracy improves the stability also, okay, stability. By the use of controllers, we can also minimize the maximum overshoot. So we can write maximum overshoot can be controlled by the controllers, okay. If your system response is slow, then by the use of controllers we can make the system response faster. So you can write like make the system response faster, make the system response faster, okay. Point number 5, by the use of controllers we can also minimize the disturbances, or you can say it can filter out the noise signal. Okay, high frequency signals which introduce the error, okay, or which introduce the noise. So these noises can also be filtered out by use of controllers. So we can write filter out the noise signal. Filter out the noise signal. Okay. One more important thing, by use of the controllers we can also reduce the system offsets. Okay, so we can write offset can also be reduced. Okay, so these are the use of controllers, that's why we are using the controllers in a control system. Now, as I have told you that analog controllers are basically proportional controller, integral controller, or a differential controller. Then we have the combination of proportional and integral controller. We have proportional and differential controller. Then we have PID controller. Okay, so one by one we will discuss all the controllers and their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, now take the first one, that is proportional controller here. Okay, so I am going to discuss the proportional controller here. Okay, proportional controller. Okay, okay, now let us draw the a feedback control system here. Okay, so we have a controller, so I am going to take a proportional controller. So proportional controller is which have the actuating signal proportional to the error signal. Okay, so this is basically proportional controller. Okay, P controller. Then we have a plant. Okay, this is a plant. Then output, and we have a feedback. Okay, so here for convenient I am taking the unity feedback control system. Okay, so for unity feedback control system the gain of the feedback is 1. Okay. So this is basically the reference input RS. Okay, or you can say the desired input. Okay, and this is your feedback signal. So let us suppose if output is CS. Okay, this is your output and we are taking the feedback, so this will be your CS. This is error detector. Okay, and the difference of reference input and feedback signal is called error. Okay, so it will generate error, that is ES. Okay, so error. So we are showing here in the frequency domain. You can also consider it ET in time domain, RT in reference input in time domain. Okay, then this is actuating signal, EAS in time domain, or you can say ET in EAS in frequency domain and EAT in time domain. Okay, so and let us take the plant. Okay, so let us suppose GS, okay, is the transfer function of this plant, and suppose I am taking a second order system here, and second order control system like the standard second order control system have omega n square upon s plus 2 zeta omega n. Okay, this is basically the gain of the plant. Okay, now as we know, proportional controller, in proportional controller the actuating signal is proportional to the deviation, or we can call it error. Okay, EAT. Okay, so in proportional controller, basically your actuating signal is proportional to your error. Okay, so we can call it ET. Okay, ET. So what we can write it, EAT, actuating signal, is equal to KP. If I take KP is the controller gain. Okay, KP. So if we remove the proportionality, then a constant will be there. So now if I take the Laplace here, so we can write in the frequency domain, EAS is equal to KP into ES. So EAS divided by ES, okay, this is what KP, and this is known as the controller gain, that is GCS. This is called the gain of the controller. Okay, so what I am doing, I am taking the gain of the controller here. Okay, so let us suppose the gain of the controller is K. Okay, so KP, gain of the controller is KP. Now what is the gain of the plant without controller? Okay, gain of plant, okay, without controller. Okay, so what is the gain? GS. Gain is GS. And GS is what? Omega n square divided by S plus 2 zeta omega n. Okay, this is the gain. So what about the transfer function? So we can also find the transfer function of a feedback control system without the controller. Okay, so the transfer function we can write GSHS. Okay, HS is 1 here, so GS upon 1 plus GSHS, HS is 1. So this will be the transfer function. So if we put the value of GS here, then what we will get? We will get the standard equation of second order. Okay, that is omega n square plus s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Okay, now if we add a controller in the forward path of the plant, and what type of controller we are using? We are using the proportional controller here. Okay, so if we add the proportional controller, then what will be the gain? To gain of the system, okay, gain of the system with proportional controller, with P controller. Okay, so what will be the gain? So total gain, let us suppose GTS. Okay, so total gain become your gain of your controller multiplied by GS. Okay, that will your gain. Okay, so we can put the value of controller gain as well as the plant gain. So you can see GT. Okay, GT means total gain of the system. Okay, that is what? KP into omega n square divided by omega s. Okay. Okay, so it will be s plus 2 zeta omega n. Okay, this is the gain, total gain. So transfer function with controller. Okay, what will be the transfer function with the proportional controller? Okay, so what will be the transfer function? That will be GT, because we are using the unity feedback, so transfer function become a GTS divided by 1 plus GTS. Okay, and if we solve, then what we will get? We will get Kp omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus Kp omega n square. Okay, this transfer function we will get with controller. Okay, now if we compare this, this is, if we put the denominator here 0, s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus Kp omega n square, then this is called the characteristic equation. Okay, characteristic equation. Okay, now if we compare this characteristic equation with the standard, okay, second order system, that is s square plus 2. Now if I take new damping coefficient zeta dash and new frequency omega ns plus plus omega n dash ka cos square is equal to 0. If we compare both, okay, then what we can see, omega n dash square is equal to your Kp omega n square. Okay, so omega n dash is equal to root Kp times omega n. Okay, and here what you can see, your zeta omega n, okay, zeta dash omega n dash is equal to your zeta omega n, means this is constant. Okay, zeta omega n is constant because it is not changing here. So let us suppose if you take Kp is greater than 1. Okay, if your Kp, okay, proportionality constant, or you can say gain of the controller is greater than 1, then your omega n dash will be you can say greater than the omega n, or you can say your omega n dash will increase. Okay, so here you can see your zeta omega n is constant, so if omega n increase, okay, natural frequency increasing, so what you can say, you can say your damping frequency, your damping coefficient zeta will decrease. Okay, if your natural frequency is increasing, your zeta will decrease because zeta omega n is constant. Now what we can conclude from here, okay, since zeta omega n is constant, okay, and your natural frequency of oscillation omega n is increasing, so what will happen, your zeta will decrease. Now, so as I told you that controller basically controls the time domain parameters. Okay, so what will affect if zeta will decrease? Okay, so you can see your omega n is going to omega n is increasing and zeta is decreasing. So what you can conclude from here, okay, okay, what about the omega d? Omega d is called the damping frequency. Okay, so omega d is basically omega n under root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, if your omega n increasing, so omega d will also increase. Okay, now see, what about the rise time? Okay, what about the rise time? Rise time Tr. Okay, so rise time Tr is given by pi minus 5, okay, divided by omega d. Okay, so you can see your omega d is increasing. Okay, if your omega d increase, rise time will decrease. Okay, so if you add the proportional controller, your rise time will decrease. Now what about the settling time? Okay, settling time settling time. Okay, so settling time is Ts, that is equal to 4 by zeta omega n, and what we have seen, zeta omega n is constant. Okay, so your settling time is constant, means settling time में आपका कोई changes नहीं होगा. Okay, now what about the overshoot? Okay, maximum overshoot is what? It is e to the power minus zeta, okay, pi upon under root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, so if your zeta is decreasing, okay, if your zeta is decreasing, your maximum overshoot will also decrease. Okay, your maximum overshoot will decrease. Your maximum overshoot will decrease. Okay, so what about the stability? Okay, what about the stability? If we add the proportional controller, तो देखिए stability basically depends on the poles of the system. Okay, so आपका since your zeta omega n is constant, okay, so pole of the system, okay, let us give me a brief. So normally जो एक सेकेंड ऑर्डर कंट्रोल सिस्टम के पोल्स होते हैं, दैट इज जीटा ओमेगा एन, ओके, प्लस माइनस ओमेगा एन अंडर रूट 1 माइनस जीटा स्क्वायर. ओके, सो वी हैव सम रियल पार्ट्स एंड सम इमेजिनरी पार्ट. दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड ओमेगा डी. ओके, सो since your real part is constant, okay, real part is constant, we are not changing the real part because means if we incorporate the proportional controller, your zeta omega n is not changing. So जो आपका stability है, it's depend on the location of your poles. Okay, so अगर आपका real part change नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है, तो स्टेबिलिटी विल नॉट अफेक्ट. ओके, अगर आपका पोल्स हमारे लेफ्ट साइड मूव करेंगे, ठीक है ना, फ्रॉम द ऑरिजिन, दैट मीन्स स्टेबिलिटी इज इंक्रीजिंग. और इफ द पोल्स मूव्स टुवर्ड द ऑरिजिन, ओके, और टुवर्ड्स द इमेजिनरी एक्सिस, देन यू कैन से योर स्टेबिलिटी विल डिक्रीज. सो हियर स्टेबिलिटी विल नॉट अफेक्ट. ओके, स्टेबिलिटी विल बी कांस्टेंट. ओके, दिस इज फॉर दिस लेक्चर.